Hey true believers, this is Dr. T and welcome to my comic book channel. Today I'm going to go over how I did with my 2022 comic collecting goals. Stay tuned. Prior to this year, I had never made collecting goals before, and at the start of this year, I posted a video for my 2022 collecting goals. I actually made a list, and in that video I went through what those goals were going to be, what books I was going to conscientiously try to pick up for this year. Like I said, never done it before, as a first time thing. I kind of liked it. I did like it, at least enough to do it again for 2023, and hopefully we'll be releasing a video next week with those 2023 goals. Now, I made 7 specific collecting goals for specific graded comic books. Yes, there have been raw books intermixed with these graded collecting goals, and I just have a very tiny number to show you there, and other honorable mentions from this year that weren't specifically part of my goals, but they were graded books that I had picked up. But first on that list, so again, 7 specific books. Number 7 on that list was this issue of Wolverine, number 9 from the 1988 Volume 1 for Wolverine's first ongoing series. Picked up this book to complete my run of issues 1 through 10. And then I also picked up on Comic Link this Wolverine issue number 4 from that 1988 first ongoing series for Wolverine. Picked this one up probably midway through the year, maybe last May. But that was to complete that run of 10 of the first 10 Wolverine issues 1 through 10 of Wolverine's ongoing series. I wanted to pick up Wolverine Limited Series issues 1, 2, 3, and 4. I did not end up getting an issue 4 to send in for the Chris Claremont sighting, and I was picking these books up, wanting to pick these books up just to have them graded, and then once CGC announced the Chris Claremont signing, I thought, this is a great opportunity to try to get those 4 books signed by Claremont with the custom Wolverine label. Well, I don't have issue 4. I'm going to need to try to pick that up. It'd be great if I could find a 9.6 copy signed by Claremont with the Wolverine custom label, but I don't know if I'm going to have luck doing that. But I did get issue 3 signed in the silver with the Claremont custom label. And the total signature series books that I did this year, I had 6 books signed this year. 8 were supposed to be signed, and I'll go over those other 2 that were supposed to be signed later. But this was, goal number 4, because I had to skip goal 5, didn't make goal 5 with issue number 4, but issue 3, that was goal number 4, so pick that up with a nice Claremont signature. And then issue 2, also with the Claremont signature. I had purchased this book. I had purchased issue 3, already graded in a 9.6. I had purchased this book, already graded in a 9.6. Sent it in, got it signed here with the silver pen right there. And then issue number 1, this is the book that they ended up losing and sending me somebody else's 9.4 copy signed by Claremont and Frank Miller. It took a couple months for me to finally get this book back, which I did. I love the signature placement there. And of course, the 3 custom labels with the 3 yellow custom labels look amazing together. And so really happy to have those 3. Another book that I got that was part of my collecting goals, but it was an outlier, it was a possibility, was this giant size X-Men 1 at Baltimore Comic Con, this 4.0 off-white to white page, really nice copy of this book. A huge pickup for me. And before I get into what my number 1 goal was in achieving that, some honorable mentions from the year. I had mentioned 2 other signature series books that I wanted to get signed, but they couldn't because they were supposed to be signed by George Perez, who of course sadly passed away this year from cancer. But I did end up getting, I already had this copy of JLA Avengers in a 9.8 graded, and sent it in to get signed. Didn't get it signed, of course, but got the George Perez custom label. And I sent my issue 2 that I've had raw for probably 20 years, sent that in also to get the custom label. So glad to have these 2. I do have issue 4. I do not have issue 3, but I've been eyeballing that. It would be great to have the set of these 4 all in a 9.8. 3 of my other signature series books that I had signed this year were, first, this amazing copy of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1, 3rd print from 1985. And there is that amazing remark by Kevin Eastman on the cover. You see that amazing remark and his signature here. I went over this in a previous video. High 9.4 near mint grade with white pages. Absolutely love this book. I have this listed currently on eBay and Shortbox, but the price is quite high because I am not willing to part with this unless someone is willing to pay for it, because I really do want to keep this book because I think it is so incredible to have this piece of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles history in my collection. So I really don't want to part with that one. I had 2 books signed by the Last Ronin team. So here is this, The Last Ronin #1, the convention edition, and signed by 5 remarks, 6 signatures, and this custom label they messed up. It doesn't have, and I went over this in a previous video, I had, like many of you who send books to CGC, I had some bad luck this year with quality control. This was one of those books where they only listed 1.5, I'm not making that up, of the signers and remarkers on this book. So I still have to send this in. And part of the problem with quality control issues is that I spend the time sending it in initially, and then when it comes back to me, I want to be done with that book in terms of CGC logistics. But this one still has to go back in, which I'm going to be doing in the next few weeks at the start of the new year. But look at all those remarks on there. And then one of my favorite collectibles that I got back this year was this, The Last Ronin #1, 4th print. 5 remarks, 6 signatures, but look at those remarks. Purple Donatello, blue Leonardo, red Raphael, and orange Michelangelo with the white Splinter, which was done by Kevin Eastman. I absolutely love this collectible. I have this book currently up on Shortboxed as well, but I am not willing to part with it unless someone pays the full amount that I have it listed for, which is high. You want to know what it is, go on there and see it. I'm almost a little sheepish to even tell you what it is because it is high. I had someone offer $515 recently for this book, which I declined. I really don't want to part with it unless they're going to reach my high price that I'm asking for it, because I really don't want to part with it. I'd rather part, because this is such an amazing remarked collectible now, I'd rather part with some of my other books, some of my other Marvel books in order to keep this one. And one of the reasons I want to keep those TMNT books so badly is because I have a number of TMNT action figures that just go so well with those books when I'm in a position to be able to display them all nicely for the comic room. And these are just 2 examples of the many TMNT books from figures from the last 10 years that I have. 2 raw books that I picked up this year that are really outstanding. This one from Baltimore Comic-Con. Again, shown in a previous video, but I wanted to show it here. Was not expecting to pick it up, but saw this book for $50 is what I picked this book up for at Baltimore Comic-Con. And this is, of course, the first appearance of Weapon X in comics. Marvel Comics Presents 72. And this is a crispy near mint copy. Well, definitely a 9.8 candidate. And then earlier this year, as part of my profession, I participated in and facilitated a project, a musical project, choral music with vocal soloist for the 75th anniversary of Jackie Robinson integrating Major League Baseball with the Brooklyn Dodgers. So my wife had picked this Jackie Robinson magazine, history magazine up for me, which I've thought about sending in to get graded. It is probably a near mint minus copy. It is very nice, just a couple things. It probably could even use a press. She went through every copy on the newsstand at a Walmart and found this to be the best copy. It's very hard to find these. They put them in those racks as you check out, and they just get dinged up so badly. But this is a very nice copy, maybe a near mint copy, but likely a near mint minus. Always hard to find magazines in high grade, but that is a stunning copy. I would love, boy, the dream would be to have his 100-year-old wife, Rachel Robinson, sign this book, but that to me is a pipe dream. But that I would love to have this signed by her. She's, like I said, still living, and Jackie Robinson died back in 1972, so she has been without him for 50 years. And Jackie Robinson is a hero of mine, so I love that I have this magazine in my possession. At the start of the year, I knew I was going to be submitting a number of books to CGC, the most I have ever done in a single year. Well, I sent in 43 books to be graded this year. 8 of those were for 6 signature series. 6 of them were actually signed. So 43, that's a lot for me. I know for many of you, you probably send in 100, multiple hundreds of copies. If you're a dealer, you send hundreds and hundreds of books in to be graded. But for me, low-time comic book YouTuber, Instagrammer, collector, lover of all things comic book hobby, 43 was a lot for me. And these are some honorable mentions in the PC that I got back this year. This X-Men 109, the first appearance of Weapon Alpha. Nice near mint minus 9.2 copy. This Wolverine number 3 is part of that Wolverine 1 through 10 run. This was a raw book that I had. Thought it was near mint all the years ago that I bought it, probably 9-10 years ago. That got a 9.8. This was my raw copy that I sent in and came back a 7.5 for this X-Men 101, first appearance of Phoenix with off-white to white pages, and I was just thrilled with this grade. That was a huge one for me this year. And then just back, as I showed in my very last video of my Silver Age unboxing, this copy of Captain America 117, first appearance of Sam Wilson, the Falcon. Absolutely love this character, love this book. I have my Captain America Sam Wilson shirt on right now. Absolutely love it. And then another big book that is very much possibly a book to sell, but the price for this book has gone down so much over the last 6 to 8 months that I very much have considered just keeping it as part of the PC for the long haul. And this is Ultimate Fallout number 4. This was a book that I had raw in my collection since this first came out in 2011. I paid $4 for it. It was in a box at my parents' house. I stumbled upon it. I forgot that I even owned it. And this book came back this year with the Miles Morales custom label, a 9.8. Huge. I just love that I have this book and that I had purchased it myself raw off the rack at a comic shop. And then the culminating goal, the biggie of the year, number 1 on my list was Hulk 181. And at Baltimore Comic-Con, as I showed in a video a couple months ago, or at the beginning of November, essentially, was this copy of Hulk 181, a 4.5, very good plus grade, an absolutely beautiful copy, not a lot of creases. You have some attachment here at the top, or pulled some of this ink off of the cover. You have some of that on the back as well from a book that it must have been sitting on top of, but very cleanable, very pressable. I don't know if I'm going to have this cleaned or pressed in 2023 or just hold on to it and do it in 2024, 2025, because it is going to need some TLC to get that really nice grade bump, do some cover cleaning, and to get and to maintain this blue universal label. But this was a huge pickup for me between the giant size X-Men and this Hulk 181 that I picked up both at the same Baltimore Comic-Con at the end of October. These were by far the biggest purchases I have ever made in my life related to any of my hobbies, any collectibles that I have. I absolutely love having these books. And true believers, I hope 2022 has been a good year for you. I really do. I hope you have fulfilled not just your collecting goals, but your personal goals, and that we all can look to the future with optimism and happiness in our lives and in the lives of those that we care for, and in the lives of those that we love. And as always, true believers, sorry to get a little sappy there, but I thought I should say that. And as always, true believers, remember, comics for life.